Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. It is time for my January wrap up. And honestly, this month was a kind of slow reading month. I read 4 books, and 2 of them I actually started last year. And the one of them has kind of lingered. That's what Souls Are Made Of. That lingered for most of last year. And then Christmas and Other Horrors, I wanted to finish in December but just didn't quite make it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into those 4 books that I read. So I finished another book in the Classics Remixed, and that is What Souls Are Made Of. And this is a Wuthering Heights remix that follows Catherine and Heathcliff. And in this case, they are both of Indian descent, and it kind of follows them discovering that and coming to terms with what exactly happened during colonialism, because this is set, right about that time in the East India Company. And I will say that Catherine and Heathcliff, their characters in this book, stayed very similar to the characters they were in the first book. That they're both, while not the worst characters, they're also not the most likable. And I did really enjoy this, and it was a pretty quick read, even though it did take me quite a while to get through it because I started it and then started a whole bunch of other books that got pushed back until now. But yeah, it's a very good book that deals with, a lot of different themes. It also deals with, childhood trauma and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've read any of the other remix classics, I think you would like this as well. If you like Wuthering Heights, I think you would like this as well. I don't think you would like it all that much if you didn't like Wuthering Heights. So just be aware of that going into this, that if you didn't like Wuthering Heights, this may not be the book for you. I read Elazzo, which is Darcy Littlebadger's first book. I also have her other book, which is A Snake Falls to Earth, and I will be reading that hopefully in February. But Elazzo was pretty good. It goes through a lot of Lippian Apache kind of lore, and is basically magical realism. And I thought it was pretty well written, with a very good mystery plot, and I did enjoy the bits of mythology we got, and seeing these other things that were also going on in this world. I do wish we learned a little more about, like, the vampires and the cursed scarecrows. They're just briefly mentioned, and I would have liked to know a lot more about that. But this is definitely a pretty good YA mystery slash adventure book, and I did enjoy the characters. I thought they were well developed and believable. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for something like that. Christmas and Other Horrors is a collection of 18 short stories centered around basically winter holidays: Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, even Festivus, the winter solstice, and I believe that's all the ones that are mentioned. And yeah, this was definitely a very interesting collection, and all the stories had kind of their own good points. I will say the Mockenfield honestly really, really confused me. I kind of want to reread that one and see if I can understand it better. But yeah, I do have to say my favorite ones were probably The Ghost of Christmas Past. All the Pretty People was pretty good. The Lord of Misrule and No Light, No Light was also very good. And then the final story, which was afterwards, I felt like the themes that dealt with were very interesting, and kind of like the difference that different choices can make into having different futures. Yeah. So this is a pretty solid short story collection, and if you like horror, I think you would definitely like this, although there's quite a few of them that are just, none of the characters are likable, but honestly, I find that okay in a horror story, because that's part of the horror. And I apologize, you can hear my puppy trying to destroy something. Get out of the paper. So yeah, if you enjoy horror, you should definitely enjoy this, and none of the stories are too super long, so you know it's not a huge time commitment either. So that's my little reading wrap up for January, and I did enjoy most of the books, so even though I didn't read a whole lot, I would consider this month a win. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I will see you next time in the book cave.